Discontinued
Gravy.
gravy.
Even your
Discontinued gravy.
Goal. To simplify life and make it fun.
Because we've been there.
I mean, we're in our mid-20s.
So we've seen it all.
This is...
Discontinued.
Gravy.
We're here. We're back. I hope everyone's having a fantastic International Women's Day.
That's assuming this episode is coming out on the day.
Or they'd had a great International Women's Day.
I mean, like, it could. It depends on when we end this. I mean, I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I could theoretically get this out. Maybe not at midnight, but I could theoretically get it out. I think I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, we're gonna cross our fingers because Nick is a genius with a computer keyboard.
Let's not say that, but...
Anyways, go listen to our past episode if you didn't listen to it. Get your fix about all the amazing women in both our lives and just, feel good about it.
I really liked that episode. I thought it was like a rather good episode.
I feel like we hit on some topics that maybe some people don't necessarily feel comfortable to talk about with their friends and family, but I feel like they can relate to on some note. And they're like, yeah, you know what? I've been there. Or I've seen that. Or...
See, that was the feeling I wanted that I thought people would get. It's like, they're like, oh yeah, I've totally been there. We're not talking about the most outrageous stories of all time. This is stuff that probably happens every day to people. And I think just for some people, I'm sure there's somebody out there, if they listen to this and they've, never had that happen, they'd be like, oh my God, I'm glad somebody else felt that too. And that's I feel like what we were looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm more than happy to speak to anyone further who might have had an experience or just wants to have some girl power, just a little powwow.
You gotta have those girl hours. Those are
absolutely
prime time.
If you don't have friends hyping you up, you need to add new friends to the roster. You don't have to get rid of those other friends, but you need people who look out for the good for you.
It's like, when you go to a new team, it's not, you're still friends with the guys on the old team, but you just have a new team. That's all.
Exactly. Your community has just gotten bigger, and it's just something to help fuel you.
Exactly.
It's great. Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed.
Well, we hope. We can only hope and continue supporting women.
And I know it's annoying, but if you guys like that episode, please subscribe because it does help us. Share it. We would love to see you guys share it on Instagram. Tag us. You can take our personal accounts, which is at Krysta Danielle 5 or at Nick Torn 19 at Discontinued Gravy. Any of those work. We love to see it.
And we'll absolutely share it. We're not one of those big accounts that doesn't share everybody. We'll share everybody.
We'll share everybody.
Anyway,
no
Krysta,
shame.
how are you doing?
No shame.
No shame. Not at all.
Anyways, I want to do a checkup. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm not so bad, living life. We're tired as always, but it's good. It's good. It's not bad.
Yeah, you need that day off.
Yeah. We're almost getting to the busy season. I sold I feel like 15 barbecues on this weekend alone. So people, get your barbecues.
You know what? We need a barbecue at our new place. We'll come to you. We also need a fire pit. So I'm gonna be like, only Nick.
If y'all don't come to me, I will sass you so hard.
Do you get a commission?
No. I'll still sass the crap out of you. Actually, one time it was when I first started there, nobody really knew about it. One of my friends actually did go to that Home Depot, and they posted on Instagram that they got a new barbecue, and I was like, ooh, that's a good barbecue. I know that barbecue.
Yeah, I can give you all the stats up and down that barbecue. It's a hot barbecue.
And I was like, oh, where'd you get it? And she's like, oh, I got it from Home Depot. And I'm like, I work at that Home Depot. And it's like, really? I'm like, and you didn't come to me. And I just sassed her. And you know what's even funnier? She got the wrong barbecue. It was this whole ordeal, and it was kind of funny. I'm like, what happened with me?
She learned her lesson.
She did. But yes, come get your barbecue and your fire bowl. We have a couple in stock. Most of it is online order, but I can do that for you.
Yeah, Nick's there to help.
Yes. Come say hello.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but my weekend, I feel like it was a pretty good weekend. It's been a while since I've actually had a weekend where I felt like I can relax and I got to actually go do things.
That's nice. That's nice. It's been a while since we've been able to do anything. So
Oh, almost exactly a year, I believe.
I think like this is kind of the couple days we're in that officially happened.
Yeah, I know that for a fact because my Snapchat memory came up from a trip I went on because I remember the day I got back from that trip, everything went into lockdown. And I
That's
remember
right. That's right.
it was that limbo stage. So, like, I'm looking at these memories and I was like, that was the last time I went out of the town.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I definitely been getting memories of like, SFU like was going to the playoffs, like they were supposed to start this weekend. Of course,
Uh,
they never started last year, so
and probably never will again.
Ah,
Oh.
I swear.
No, but I actually got to do fun things, and I want to tell everyone about them because that's part of this podcast. We go experience things, we tell you about it. It's all about content.
We have a platform and we intend to use it.
Yes, 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 yes.
Tell
So,
us, Krista.
yes. Essentially, what I'm so excited about is that I went for a very lovely dinner at Vancouver Urban Winery. I highly recommend it if you're in the Vancouver area. You can get some nice wine flights, and they have a really good food menu as well. It's not just wine and beer. Their food is amazing. Definitely recommend getting a bunch of little share plates and sharing it. One of their dishes is like tomato soup fondue.
Oh.
Essentially, it's just like grilled cheese and other things that you dip into tomato soup.
Oh, they just word it. They word it fancy.
They word it fancy. I was like,
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, yeah. Not bad.
Right? But the more fun thing I got to do was doing VR, virtual reality.
Which it's like VR is such a weird thing because it was in, then it was out, then it was in again, then it was out. Now I think it's kind of making a comeback again.
I think it's making a comeback because there's so many new games and other things going on.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. Plus, somewhat active.
Yeah, absolutely. You can experience life outside of your home.
Yes, yes, even if it is a virtual one.
Yeah, so basically the way it got set up was I went with two other people. We all got assigned to different rooms. So you're not sitting, you're standing, and you have like a 10-foot room that you have to yourself. You put on the VR equipment they're like two paddles or remotes, and then the VR setup. And in the VR setup, you can kind of see the borders. So there's like a big red box. As soon as you get close to it, it like flashes so you know that you're gonna like bump into something or smash into the
Oh, that's
wall.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool that way because that's like the scariest part about VR is like you're like, what? Where am I? Am I gonna trip over something?
Big facts.
Right? So very cool. It was kind of expensive, not gonna lie. Like I believe it was $40 for the first hour and then $15 for every half an hour after that. And like it takes you a good half an hour to get used to the controls and figuring out what you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It's just odd. But it was great. It was a lot of fun. We ended up playing it was basically like the COD zombie game.
Okay. Yeah.
And so essentially, zombies are just coming up and attacking you. But it was so cool because once you put on the VR headset, you could hear your buddies. So it sounded like they were right there. And you look around and you can see them because they have their own little avatars. So we're like, what one are you? Are you player 7? Are you player 8? Type of thing.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but both the guys just came up and started harassing me. They're like, "Krysta, do this," and like, like just doing all those like pretending to slap you and stuff, but you can't feel it because they're not actually doing it.
That is how virtual reality works. Yes.
Yes, but it was funny because like during these games, I'm not good at video games at all, and I have astigmatism too, so I think my aim was a little off because it's like I had to close one eye every time like you take a shot. And like it's cool because you have like a pistol in one hand, a shotgun in the other, and you're trying to like shoot them off and tap the zombies in the head, and then you even have to refill the magazine clip. I might be calling it the wrong thing. I am not a gamer or a gun person.
Look at that. Krista's got some knowledge. Damn.
I know, I just heard them saying that a lot, and I was like, what's a magazine? I was like looking for like paper magazines
Oh my god.
in the VR world, and then I was like, they're like, come pick
cool,
one up.
Krysta.
And I was like, what are you talking about?
Could have sounded cool. And
I know,
ruined
I
it.
ruined it. But I'm just going to be honest. Why lie to these people? Why lie to the Kurds?
Not like we're lying about our whole lives.
Making everything seem cooler than it is.
Yeah. No, not at all. It's not at all what we're doing.
And I mean, part of the VR experience was that you looked down and like you had to refill the clip, and that was pretty cool. I didn't like all the buttons. Like, I wish it was just movements for some of the things. Like, you had to like grip something to like actually get the clip, which makes sense because I'm sure if you're actually changing clip or something, you do have to like grip and release and do all that stuff. I've never done that, so I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, no, roughly.
But for anyone who hasn't played VR before, I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't look real. But it plays with your mind and it feels real.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously the graphics, I think they kind of intentionally play down a bit on VR.
Oh yeah, it'd be terrifying.
But,
I was scared when I got slashed in the face by a zombie. I was like, oh my god. I almost like tapped out.
Now, question for you, because I have this problem, and it's like motion sickness. Did you ever feel like you were kind of getting a little dizzy in there?
So, someone that I was with mentioned that as like a concern of theirs. So essentially, instead of like actually running and you being the person running, you just have like a little jump run feature on the remote. So like you click the toggle and it shows where you can jump to just by like moving the toggle. So you can turn around and it looks real, but you don't get the motion sickness of like walking around and stuff. But you could change it to be like kind of like running on the spot too. So it's like actually walking around, so it's more immersive. And apparently that was really trippy. Like that's kind of what made them feel a bit more motion sickness.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
Yeah. But it was so embarrassing at one point because there's zombies everywhere. I'm like turning around, shooting behind the back, pulling out all the stops. And I'm like spinning around because I'm so paranoid about like a zombie coming through the window, dropping through the roof. I get tied up in the VR thing because it's attached to the roof.
Oh my god.
So the headset's attached. So I run out of ammo, but I see someone on the ground and I can't get it. So like both the guys are like, Krysta, what are you doing? And I'm like, I can't get it. They're like, why are you squatting? I'm like, I can't pick it up. I'm stuck. They're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm tangled. So
Nice.
the attendant person, had to come in and detangle me.
That sounds like a fun job.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fun time. I do recommend it, especially even if you're not a gamer, because it's just more of an experience than anything else. It's like doing an escape room. There's even simple games like VR racing.
Yeah. Where did you go?
It's on Broadway.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You want to sponsor us? Hit us up.
Yep. If you do, I don't know who you are, but please.
I think it was Evolve Virtual.
If that's it, then sponsor us. We'll pay
We'll
us
talk
the
about
money.
you more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a fun time, but it just reminded me of my first VR experience, which actually happened to be with Nick.
It was actually at our old job. I think it was a job that technically we were allowed to play it, but I don't think while we were doing what we were doing, we were supposed to.
Yeah, it was kind of like in the chill area. So if you were on break or you wanted to stay later after your shift.
Did we stay later or do it before?
We did it before. We came in early. We were the only people that ever used it from our squad.
I'm pretty sure we're the only ones in the entire building.
To be fair, it was in quite a public area where they would also do some broadcasting, so you couldn't just use it like whenever. Like it had to be vacant, so we came in on a weekend early in the day so we could play.
Yeah, it was like a Sunday or something. We went in. It was like we got there at like 9 or something, and we were just playing VR.
Yeah, and it was such a good time. And I just remember the one experience that when I was telling Nick that I did VR, he was like, "This is the only thing I remember."
Literally, it's literally.
So it's basically just this one factor that you can do because the VR setup that we played on, it didn't have as many cool games as this VR room that I went to and paid for. There was basically like a training game and like maybe one other adventure game that you could play, but it gave you a good sense on how like the tutorial on how to do any of this. And the coolest feature that I could remember was the arrows.
Yeah, yeah. It was like this like fortress game basically, and the idea was these like people were oncoming to your castle, and you had to, snipe them down with the VR. But as clearly was apparently the best thing about this game, that because Krista and I both remember it, about the only thing we remember from this, is that like when you pulled back your arrow, you kind of felt like the latency of, and like the vibration of like the stretching of the cord thingy on a bow and arrow. I know nothing about the bow and arrows. And you just like you kind of felt the retention, and then that's when you kind of knew you had to release. It was really a cool feeling, just because like how did they do that?
I mean, I've never shot an arrow in real life before.
Neither have
I haven't gone to do archery or anything at a summer camp. I was supposed to one year in Girl Guides, didn't get to.
That's a lie. Yeah, I have done it before, back in like grade 3 in outdoor school.
Oh, so you actually know if it felt real.
That was like grade 3, Krista.
I mean, grade 3, Nick, come through, tell us.
I I actually think I have a picture of me actually doing the bow and arrow. I think.
Oh my god, you need to post that if you can find it.
If I ever find it, I'll share it to DG because information needed.
Yeah, we need to know the truth.
We need to know the truth. How did it feel, Nick? Maybe young Nick knows.
Yeah. The only thing I would say I don't know if other games for shooting bows and arrow have advanced, but the one thing that I think would be cool instead of like just shooting them off is if you could grab behind your back and like actually have to grab the arrows. Like I feel like that would be a cool sensation. I can't remember if the one at our old job had that or not.
No, but I'm pretty sure the Nintendo Wii did.
Nice.
I'm pretty
Wii
sure you had
was
to, like,
so ahead of its time.
You had to like whip the controller back and then pull it forward to kind of, you had to go like,
nice.
It was one of those things, but yeah, that was cool. But
yeah, we was clutch.
We were clutch. We were using company time, getting paid to pay VR.
Yeah.
That's how we roll.
I mean, there's a few things that we got away with on the job, and I'm sure everyone did on kind of a minimum wage job. There's just certain things that you don't take as seriously.
Yeah, but I feel like even like thinking about it, like I'm pretty sure like that job is where we took the most advantage out of any job I've ever done.
Okay, I mean, there was so little supervision, which is why they also hired us, is because they trust us. You needed a certain degree. You needed a certain personality.
Sure, it's true.
And there was actually quite extensive training. Like, it wasn't like a 1 or 2 shift training thing. It was like 2 weeks. You had to do certain steps.
Yeah,
like, and you had to, whoever was the more senior person on that shift would let the person know eventually, they're good at activations, or they know how to do this, or they'll let them know. I don't think they could call into the station and set up a line.
Yeah. Oh, no. Like the complexities of like certain like remotes and stuff like that. Yeah. Not, God forbid, nobody, if you don't know anything about it, you're going to have a hard time. Even if you know something about it, you're still going to have a pretty hard time. So it wasn't like the easiest job in the world. It seems pretty glamorous, but it's really not.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest though, they hired people who had that interest and wanted to learn. But I just remember there being one girl who, she worked there for months, and I was just, every single time I had to work with her, I was like, I'm gonna have to end up doing everything. And I mean, Nick usually is that person. He'll just take it on. He's like, I got this.
I hate watching people do it because they do it so slowly, and I'm just like, just let me fucking do it.
Yeah, Nick can literally set something up in 10 minutes, whereas we're given like 2 hours to do this task.
Yeah. Who was it? Who was that person? I guess don't name drop them.
Starts with an. That's all I'm gonna say.
You talk while I think about this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say more just in case you're listening. You're a very lovely person and loved working with you. But I just felt like it took a long time because I was probably a bad trainer. I'm sorry, but you needed Nick to train you. is what I'm trying to say.
Oh my God, is it that one? Really?
I don't know. I want to text you.
Oh,
Okay, I don't
100%.
think we're talking about the same person.
Okay, hold
I
on.
really don't.
We're calling a pause here. We're gonna cut this part just so you know, so we can confirm who we're talking about. Krysta, who the hell are you talking about? Okay, we're back. We figured that out.
We're back. Nick was wrong. We
yeah,
were not
completely
talking
wrong.
about the
It
same
would have been
person.
more entertaining if that was right.
Yeah, let's continue and just bleep out the names.
We're just gonna cut a whole lot of stuff out, and that's gonna be probably one of the most edited parts ever in DG history.
Oh my gosh! Wow, we just made history here today, folks.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So what were we
No, but
talking about?
I mean, we got away with some shit. I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
And it was because it was like self-governed almost. Like they
honestly.
there's almost too much trust. Like there wasn't a time clock. We used sheets to write in and out. First of all, big mistake.
Yeah.
Like I understand that like people run late, whatever. You don't need to keep track of that. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people, if they show up late, they're gonna stay late to make up for it, or they're gonna be honest about it. But in this job,
Nope.
no.
If you came late, you started at the normal time.
Yeah, and your friends, if like we knew you started at that time, and we had to hand in your timesheet for you because it was like Sundays you had to hand it in or something.
Yeah.
We'd fill it out for you.
Oh yeah. We definitely altered a few times. I think we definitely got a couple more overtime hours than probably we're supposed to.
Yeah, I want to say the most common thing is that we finished early and you round up, right? Like it was like 9:10 and we're like, okay, 9:30.
Yeah, like I honestly I would tell new hires like it would be like, yeah, if we were off at like 8:15 or something like that, I'd round up. But if it was like 8:13, I'd round down.
Yeah, and that's actually what you're supposed to do. Like as someone who's worked in a management position before, who's worked on like scheduling and like doing paying people and managing that, that's what they do. They round up and down based off of the 15-minute mark.
Right, but I feel like they're the kind of company that definitely frowned upon us going up.
Oh yeah. Oh,
they would have rather us rounded down.
or just write like 9:15 and then let them decide.
Yeah. So we definitely the money thing. Yeah, I think I made a few more dollars than I was supposed to there.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because near the end, it got to the point when when you're just so senior at a job that it's like Nick would text people. I'm throwing him under the bus here. He'd be like, "Yeah, so I packed the van, yesterday, so we're good. We can go in an hour and a half late."
Well, for real, like it was there were some days where it was like shifts 2 days in a row, and if I'm on one the next time. I just leave the car. They tell you to freaking unload it and load it every freaking day.
Because they don't want it to get stolen, but it's a parkade that is
it's
literally
impossible.
5 levels down, 8 gates.
It's really friggin' hard to get in there. So I was like, you just leave it in the vehicle. You come back in the next morning. Because, you save freaking like an hour and a half. You're working at 7 a.m. Guess what? I get to sleep in until like 8:30.
Yeah, it was great. And I mean, like, not gonna lie here, I'm pretty sure Nick actually suggested to, like, the person who did the scheduling, he's like, hey, when we have back-to-back shifts, just so you know, we could do this. Like, he offered that as a solution.
Oh, yeah.
But they were like, no, you should just do it the way it's been done.
I'm pretty sure every single thing I ever suggested to them, they never cared.
Yeah, because they didn't want to do anything new, which is fair enough, but you gotta realize that we're smart, but we're lazy.
Well, that, and also, we know what's going on. We're the team that does all this. All you guys do is plan it. It's a very important job of what you're doing, but the groundwork, we know what we're doing, and guess what? This is the easiest way possible, and guess what? You're going to make us a lot happier by doing it.
Yeah, and exactly. Like, if you just listened to Nick's advice, then we would have told the truth of what time we were starting at.
Maybe. Maybe it would have led to something else.
Yeah, exactly. You could have scheduled us an hour later.
Yeah.
You don't always need 3 hours to get to wherever you're going, especially if it's within a 15-minute drive.
Yeah, honestly, literally, there were some shifts where it was walking distance, and they'd still give us 2 hours, and it was policy
Yeah, but it was annoying when it was a place that was far away. Like if you're going to
Yep.
like Chilliwack from Vancouver,
You
that's almost an
you
hour and a half to get to.
you need those hours, and then they give us an hour to get back, and it's like, okay,
How logic? I don't know.
there was none a lot of the time.
I don't know. I don't think we're the only people that got away with stuff there.
Oh, I'm sure if we went through the list of if we got everybody who worked there on this show, absolutely there would be some dirt.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, like, honestly, that shift, like, I was watching sports during games. Like, if you ever work at this company and you go to the iPads and you see there's a TSN app and a Sportsnet app on there, guess who put those on?
And it doesn't look suspicious because it's part of the overall brand.
It is. It was, one of them was definitely branded content. So, yeah.
You're just supporting and promoting.
Exactly. Well, I wasn't watching, Lions playoff games and Canucks games during events. No, not at all.
No, not at all. Would never think of it.
I'm 99% sure they knew. They had to have.
Yeah. Okay, but Nick is also the type of person who always had his phone. Like,
Yeah.
and still probably does. Like,
yeah. I gotta say.
in front of managers, and they don't care.
I gotta say, I don't know what it is. I just can get away with it. Every single time. Doesn't matter. Like when I worked at Rona, which was another hardware store, I honestly, like, I had people like, like the people, like, I'd just be like texting at the center service desk, and then, like, a person would be like, oh, manager's coming. And I'd be like, okay. And then,
expecting him to like swiftly put it away.
Then the manager would walk up, like, usually by the time they got there, I would have finished my text and, stuck it in my pocket, but nothing like hastily or anything. Like, she could honestly stand right next to me. I'd finish the text, put it away, and be like, yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, like, they saw him do the text motion, put it in his pocket.
Yeah, and then, and people would ask me, they'd be like, how do you get away with that kind of stuff? Like, I feel like people, I feel like people got in trouble. Then there's just me. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. This job, oh yeah, I think I use my phone 99.9% of the time at that job. And even, I don't know if I should be, that's a lie. That's a lie. The entirety of the store I work at now knows that I do this. And but I'm not like an egregious, like, I'm not texting while I'm talking to a customer or anything. I pick my spots. It's probably a little more obvious than a lot of people, but, like, I'm smart with it.
I think that's part of it though, right? Like, the right time and place. Like, you're in the back room, sure, but you're also not going to be standing there for half an hour scrolling through Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
You're going to send a text or two, check the score, get back.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's one of those things that you have to earn your stripes. Like, you can't do that when you're brand new.
You know what? Actually, I remember when I got hired there, you're putting on the good face. You're new there and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think I broke after like 2 days, because I remember like texting my ex, like I texted them during a shift, and I was like, and it's taken me a day and a half to to give up that, and she was literally like, I was wondering how long it was gonna take you.
I mean, fair enough though.
So, like, like, I don't know, like again, I'm not like doing it in front of customers. I'm not like ignoring people because of it. I'm just talking to people over text. Is that such a crime?
Yeah, I don't think so. Honestly, I think it's just knowing the time and place and for how long.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's never for very long at all.
Yeah. No, I think that's the most important thing. But I mean, I think we got away with more stuff at that job than we probably should have. And I would say more risky, scandalous stuff.
Well, I mean, you're as you said, unsupervised. You would go to events. They would, usually one of the people would show up, see if everything's making sure is okay. They'd hang out for like an hour or something like that.
Maybe.
Make sure it's all good. Then they leave. What do they know? What they know? Nothing. We just had to take our pictures, make sure nothing crashed and burned, and we're okay. What am
And
I supposed to
be
do?
honest when something did go wrong. Like if something went wrong and someone else knew, be honest about it.
Yeah, like we and if something didn't go wrong, we dropped what we were doing and we fixed it. Like we were good workers, but you're out there for 4 hours. In some cases, nobody was there. Like no customers. Like you know the flooring store.
Mm,
Like you're there for so long. There's a bunch of us. What are we gonna do?
right?
You want us to stand in front of those tents and look busy? Because guess what? There's nothing to look busy to when there are no people.
Also, I think it's also worse to look busy because it becomes a quality that like it's almost better to look like you're not doing anything but do a lot of work, whereas if you look like you're doing a lot of things and you don't do anything, it's almost worse
Yeah, well, yeah,
because the
yeah.
expectation's there and you're not following through.
Yeah,
It doesn't look
yeah.
like you're doing anything but you get all this done.
Yeah,
Damn, they
true.
still got all that done.
Yeah, it's true. True.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the storage rooms and working with young people your age, some things probably happened in there.
Storage room
Yeah.
is a fun place. I will say that.
Yeah, and that's all I'm gonna say.
There's lots of stuff that went on there. We did. It's a
Yeah.
giant mess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mess in there. How many times I got cleaned, at least.
Quite a few, but I honestly it was very useless. Every time somebody cleaned it, I said it's gonna last a day, and they're like, no, this time it's gonna last. Doesn't last. Not to mention it's awkward as hell in that room anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Maybe we'll spill the tea on storage room drama one of
Ooh.
these days.
Oh. Oh. Are we doing that today or we're going to save that?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of blanking on any of it.
I mean, some hookups happened in there, but
Fair enough.
yeah. But I mean, you're working with a bunch of young people who are around the same age and by themselves. Like, I think that happens at a lot of workplaces. It
sure.
shouldn't.
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 But we're in our 20s.
Yeah.
We gotta know it all.
And you do dumb shit. Anyways, moving past that. No, but I know people who've done a bunch of dumb things at jobs. Like, I know people who, like I know a girl who used to work at KFC. And, just the perks of, like, taking home all the chicken at the end of the night that you're supposed to dump out. But also some more disgusting things, like wiping some chicken on a tampon dispenser and giving it to a customer. Disgusting. This person did not do that, but they knew someone at the job site that did.
You see, that's questionable.
That's like, are you okay?
Like, nothing you and I think I've ever done as bad as it was never that bad.
And never harmed someone else or potentially could have.
No, no.
Spitting people's food and all that other stuff, that's just a different level.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, like everybody's taken a longer break than they should have. Everybody's, done this, done that. But, when you're actually physically affecting somebody, except some people, if they're absolute assholes, I'm fully on board. But most of the time, I'd say it's a little questionable.
It's a little questionable.
Just a little bit.
I know, like, I've heard stories of, like, McDonald's. I feel like that's the most wild place because it has so many young people.
I believe
right?
that.
Like,
that and, like,
people,
Walmart.
Yeah, but, like, actually, like, taking cash.
Oh, yeah. Well, that happens at every job. I'm pretty sure somebody's been fired at Home Depot because of that.
Yeah, well, someone got fired at the golf course I work at because of that, too. So, like, moral of the story, don't do that. But the McDonald's story that I heard, these people didn't get caught. It was essentially just, like, the trainees' registers. But their registers were fine. So, like, the trainees look like they just messed up.
Yep. Yeah, that's...
And, like, a big corporation like McDonald's, they're not going to notice if $100 is gone over a total week.
Yeah, they don't care.
Right? But that's going to make a world of difference to, like, a 15-year-old kid.
It can. Yep. It
Yeah.
absolutely can.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right at all, but I mean, big corp.
It's not. Sometimes we just gotta stick the capitalism in the butt.
just a big you know what.
Just not big.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like one of the most scandalous things that happened at one golf course jobs I worked at was a cart girl. Essentially, she bought a bunch of beer that wasn't sold on our course. So, like, let's say we had Coors Light but didn't have kokanee. But people were like, oh, I want kokanee. So she brought kokanee from the liquor store. So, like, $32 probably for a pack. Sold them at the same price as what we sell them at a big, like,
But
hike
she
ups.
pocketed the money.
And she pocketed the money.
That's just genius. I
Right?
fully support that. That's just smart.
That's the supply and demand.
If people want, like, if you get enough people and they're not going to do anything about it, take it into your own hands. Show the initiative.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the only reason she got caught was because she, like, drove the cart into the parking lot and saw her unloading the beer into, like, her car. So, like, gotta remember that, like, people are watching and security cameras, but I feel like you could get around that somehow. You know, like, leave it in a bush. Or even, like, let's say you don't sell it all. So what? You're out $10.
Yeah, and I mean, like, worst case, you get to have some beer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like a lose situation. You're kind of gonna win either way. It's just they're just gonna be able to take it, and hey, if you sell it, great. If not, well, you get a nice pack of beer ready for you when you go home.
I mean, I think the one thing I can say about my experience of either hearing these stories or being aware or taking part of being a rebellious person in a minimum wage job, which I mean is a lot of fun, is that I don't know if I was a lenient boss, but it was like one of those things. It's like certain things were more serious, like demand respect and like yeah, don't have your phone out in front of a customer. You can use it in the back, I don't care, but don't have it out in front of a customer. And like I feel like I'd be pretty chill, but like don't mess with me.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be pretty laid back, but if you got on my bad side,
Yeah, I mean, Nick is just gonna
going
take
down.
everything that we know and use it against them.
Pretty much. That's probably what I will do.
I think he'd be too scary to cross you, Nick. Like, it's one of those things that's like, it's the sheer disappointment you would have that would kill me. Right? Like, it's like the parent that's like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
I could see that. That's
Right?
a weird
It's just one of those things. It's like, you don't want to do you wrong. Because, like, you know how some people are just kind of like assholes? Like, there's managers that just are. So you're like, I don't care if they get mad at me. But the ones that, like, you know, that are, like, trying really hard or aren't an asshole to you, and then they're just like, oh, I'm disappointed in you. It's like, oof.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
it just hurts on a different level.
It really does. Yes.
It truly does.
It really does.
But I think
Anyway.
we can move on to our next segment, which is I was gonna give you a chance to do it, but
Krysta, we
I
all
know that
this is your
was
stuff,
silly.
man.
That was just nonsense.
Maybe one day we'll surprise everybody, but today's not the day.
Questions. I have no idea what that sounded like, so I'm sorry. I have headphones on.
Kind of sounds like a Donald Duck.
Okay, I was kind of going
thing.
for like E.T., but fair enough.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Okay, I'm glad that got across. So we have some great questions this week. So one question actually is based off of from I think our last week's podcast. It was essentially, how can I be an ally to women when I'm a man?
I feel. Is it a question for me?
I think so. I mean, I can put my 2 cents in, but I think Nick is probably more suited to answer this because it sounds like it's coming from a man or someone who identifies as one.
Fair. I mean, really, it just like bottom line is just like treating them like like a normal person, like they're no different, keeping just being nice to them, listening to them and having a normal conversation with them. Like honestly, it's just like treating them like a normal person is gonna win every single time. That's how I've gotten here. That's the I'm not treating them fancy or special or anything. Like I would treat them the way I would treat my guy friends. It's the same. Like sure, I may not swear as much in front of them, but
Fair enough.
that's just it. That's just the way it is.
I don't know. I think one thing that Nick said that really stuck out to me was the listening portion. I think if you listen and don't tell people how they feel about their experience, that is already doing tremendous things for the person.
Oh yeah, totally. Just and I'm not saying just agree with everything they say, but like actually listening and understanding and being like, I totally get that, like, and not being like, well, that hasn't happened to me, so I don't know, but like just being like, oh, I'm sure
Yeah,
that
exactly.
hurt.
You don't even have to say that you get
like,
it, or you can even just say exactly like that sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't know how it feels, but I'm sure it's
Yeah, exactly. And I think that goes a long way.
I think it
Yeah.
does.
I hope that answers your question. If anyone has a better way to answer that, let us know. I feel like there's different groups that you can reach out to also be allies. There's always community groups and centers that are always looking for more hands on deck.
Absolutely.
And our next question is oh, what do you think? What do you think a VR game in our future old folks' home will be like?
You ever see the movie WALL-E?
Yes. That movie was decades ahead of its time.
It'll be like we'll be in those type of couches and like we'll have like little remote. Actually, it won't even be remotes. It'll be all like like Xbox Connect kind of stuff. You don't need a remote. You just kind of hand things.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it will be kind of like, I'm not sure if it's a Black Mirror episode or where I saw this. It might have been a movie actually, where essentially you just like kind of hook up into your chair and you relive your memories, kind of. Because
yeah, pretty much.
Like at the end of the day, cool. Like all you have is your memories, and you probably want to relive some of the highlights before you're gone. And I feel like that's probably what we're going to be able to have in 20 to 30 years.
Oh man, if they could do that, I think I would.
Yeah, and
cry.
I mean, like, imagine the potential for people who have degenerative diseases, right? Like, how would you get those memories? But again,
even like, going back to like the best parts of like your life, like, and I can identify those points even like right now. Like I'd love to go back there.
Feel that feeling again. See it.
That would be so cool to be able to like. It would almost be cool just to sit back and watch it in real time.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Like it's almost like watching old home videos.
Yeah, like oh man, that'd be really
I don't
cool.
know, but like Mr. Musk, I remember a big article came out saying that potentially he's gonna have a way to help people with degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, because there's going to be like a technology that can essentially fix those passageways in your mind. He's like, this isn't going to be capable for another 15 to 30 years type of thing. I don't remember the article exactly. If I can find it, I'll link it. But it's one of those things, like the potential of like VR and memories and where it can go. People aren't going to leave the house.
And I mean, hopefully,
yeah, but I also don't want it to
Krysta will
be
live
like Ready Player One. I don't want to be in that world either.
I never saw that movie, but
it wasn't very good. I'm going to be honest. I heard a lot of people say the book's better. That's probably the truth about a lot of books and movies. But essentially, the guy lives in a VR world, and it's better.
I think I did the advanced screening for that.
Yeah. Oh, did you go to the building blocks, or I forgot what it was called?
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't do that shift. That was a different
I did
shift.
that one.
I didn't do that shit. You did that one, but I did like the actual like advanced screening in the theater.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's what I think it's gonna be like. Yeah.
Fair enough.
And then our last question. For some reason, I love these questions and I like ending on them because I feel like they're so important.
Okay.
Is water wet?
Oh, this age-old question.
Age old. I feel like Nick, the water lover, is gonna have a lot to say on this. So that's why we started questions of the week a little earlier.
So, okay, so if you know me, I'm a bit of a water connoisseur, if you want to put
Yeah.
it that way. Is water wet? Duh. Obviously.
I mean, I'm gonna say yes. If your argument is if you're inside water, how can you tell it's wet? I mean, you get out of it, and you're technically we call that understanding of how you look and feel wet. Right from my understanding.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
H2O.
H2O. The best
Yeah,
thing
and
on
I
the
feel
planet.
like it's just I just have a simple answer for you. Yes.
It's also the most terrifying thing in the planet.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknown about it.
Yeah, like water's like terrifying. But
It has the
anyway.
ability to create and destroy. I actually
Literally.
think the meaning behind like water and dreams is really interesting. Typically, it means so. I used to love dreams and I did a lot of research about it. Essentially means chaos. So if you're dreaming that you're in water or water's doing something to your life, there's something about your life that's unaligned and there's chaos. Yeah,
Pretty
fun
much.
fact.
Yep. Fun fact.
Okay. So now we're on to. I'm just gonna do
Okay.
it again.
Recommendations of the week.
I wish that kind of sounded
That's a
like the
fun one.
Phoebe, smoky, sexy voice for singing for Smelly Cat, but it doesn't.
Oh, okay, no.
Yeah,
But,
I feel like
okay,
it has
good
the
effort,
same
good effort.
potential.
It's a good effort.
Thank you. I'm sorry that anyone has to listen to this. that
Hey, it makes it way
you
better.
made it this far. Bravo. I applaud you. So Nick, got any recommendations for us?
It's a very important recommendation that it is March 7th, which means we're almost in tax season, Krista. I have my T4s, I have them all. I recommend doing your taxes. It sucks, but hey, if you're like us and don't make enough money, I don't know about you, but if you're like me and don't make enough money, you're going to get money back.
Yeah. I mean, I never changed my address from my old job or for like the mail post system, so I probably should let my old job know to give me my T4.
Yes, if it's not sent out.
I do think
already.
it's going to be a hard tax season for a lot of people this year because of CERB. For a lot of
Yes,
people, I don't think
of
they
course.
realize that if you borrowed CERB and then let's say your job already started back up and you've been working, you owe it back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I paid that. I got a one-time payment because that was when I got laid off from my other jobs and I was still barely
Yeah.
at Home Depot. So I did it once, but I returned the money because they were gonna come after me.
For example, my sister, she works in the healthcare system, and her like there was like a shutdown for a bit, right? So she didn't work for almost 2 months. No, she worked for a month, but she could only work at one site because they were only doing the one site, but she needed to work full time. So she was on CERB for quite a while, and this is the first year she has to owe, and like she's quite like it sucks, like when you're not making a lot of money.
No.
Yeah, but this is how we pay for our healthcare. For those who don't know,
True.
fun
True.
facts. Typically, I get my dad to help
facts.
me with my taxes.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I mean, luckily I don't have my own business or anything, so it's literally just doing my 2 forms and submitting it.
Get your TurboTax and then
Yeah, essentially, I don't need to go to H&R Block.
No.
So my recommendation of the week, I sat down and
Yes.
watched this on Friday night. It was A Knight's Tale. Brilliant. Well, go watch it. It's so good. And I mean, it's one of those movies I think you were forced to watch in high school. And I think it's because they wanted you to learn about like Shakespearean or like either that century of era of knights and all that stuff. But it's just so good.
Ooh. Okay, and that's Knights with a K, right? Like night.
Have you not seen it?
I I I don't know.
It
I
has
feel
Heath
like I
Ledger in
have.
it.
Ah,
And that's all I can say. You probably have seen it. You might have forgotten about it because it was back from 2003. But it's
yeah.
so good. It's great. Just go watch it. It's gonna take your mind off of whatever you're doing.
Speaking of Shakespearean type of movies, the best Romeo and Juliet I've ever seen was the Leonardo DiCaprio version.
Absolutely, absolutely. He was
Excellent
like
version for-
17 there too.
Yeah, he was really young. I'm just gonna tack that
Yeah,
one on.
like brilliant.
Bonus.
I think that's where we all fell in love.
Bonus recommendation. Yes, bonus recommendation.
Question: did he do that before or after Titanic? I
Great
think
question.
he did
No
it
idea.
before. I could be completely wrong.
I could look
Yes,
it up.
please look it up for me, or because it's gonna destroy me. But I feel like he looked younger in it.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's quick look. Where is?
I think Rosalind and Isel. I forget if that's even the way you say it, but it's like Romeo and Juliet, but it takes place somewhere else in the world, not in like England, London area. It takes place somewhere else, and it's pretty much exactly the same. But it was also very good.
Did you know he was born on Remembrance Day?
No, I did not. I mean, is it Canadian? He's not Canadian, so it doesn't really matter.
True. Well, then no, it's Veterans Day over there.
Yeah, that's true. Did you find out for us, Nick?
It's not telling me.
Okay, I'll look up the year
hold
Titanic came out.
Hold on. Yes, it was before. That was 1996. Titanic was 97.
Perfect. Brilliant.
There you go.
Go watch any of those films. We just listed like 4.
Yeah, you have some viewing to go.
You have a lineup.
Yes, you do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for listening, guys. It was fun.
Thank you. We'll be back at it again next week with more Discontinued Gravy.
Talk to you later.